Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be doing a video that is a little bit different, and it's kind of like a part one of two videos that I'm going to be doing that are very related, and it'll be very obvious. But this video is going to be all about my acne story and kind of the progress and products that I am using and stuff like that, prescription type of medications and products and stuff like that. And part two will be my skincare routine. So for a background, just as kind of like a skin ID type of situation, I have fairly oily skin. I wouldn't say it's too crazy, but it's more than like normal skin. I have had periods of dryness or things like that, but it's more on the oily side. But also, I've never dealt with acne in a crazy way in my life. All throughout my kind of middle school, puberty, early teenage years, I didn't struggle with acne really in any sort of way, not that I can remember at least. I mean, yes, I've always had pimples here and there and redness and blackheads and things like that, but nothing that's been super drastic where I've had to go to the dermatologist. So up until now, I had never been to a dermatologist for any reason. So when it was about, I think it must have been late May, early June, so very end of my senior year of 2014, around, yeah, like May or June, I was very surprised when all of a sudden my skin went like nuts. Out of absolutely nowhere. Like I had like decent skin, and then all of a sudden in my eyes it was terrible. And I have pictures because I did document this through pictures, so there will be pictures kind of coming up to show progress. But all of a sudden my skin just like out of nowhere went crazy. And I know this is an over-exaggeration, but it made me like mildly depressed. Whenever I would think about it, I would feel so bad. I didn't want to leave the house. I just felt disgusting. Like, I didn't want anyone to look at me. Putting makeup on made it almost feel worse, like just gross. The texture of my skin was disgusting. I just hated my skin. I hated it so bad. And so I knew that I needed to go to the dermatologist because I knew something needed to happen to make it better. And as you can see in the pictures, it wasn't just hormonal acne, although you could say, oh, you know, it was probably just PMS stuff, but you can see that this was a month-long process where it was like clustered on my chin really bad, but also it all of a sudden started to be on my cheeks. And I would never usually get stuff on my cheeks. I have scarring on my cheeks, but I mean, I've dealt with scarring my whole life. I have very fair skin, so it scars super easily, or I get hyperpigmentation for a long time because of acne. But it wasn't just that, it was really bad around my chin, and it got really red and irritated, and it hurt because I did have a lot of, through the process, as I'll describe, I had a lot of cystic acne as well. But my forehead just went like crazy, and I don't know why. It was out of nowhere. I have an idea that a product maybe caused it, but why it stayed around for so long after an immediate outbreak from a product doesn't really make sense. But it wasn't like real zits. They were just kind of weird bumps, and they wouldn't go away no matter what product. So I went to the dermatologist, and she prescribed me two things, kind of three, but not really. So the cleanser I will talk about in my skincare routine because that's more basic, and the cleansers aren't really the big deal. It is the two kind of creams that I have. So the first one is this, and this is the daytime. So I just used the little samples because she threw in a bunch of just little test tubes. But for reference, this is what it looks like. It is called Acne, I believe, but it is a, okay, it's It's a gel formulation and use this to spot treat during the day. So I take the tiniest amount and put it directly on where I have any breakouts or scarring or things that are trying to be cleared up. I don't put this all over my face. But it is a something clindamycin, phosphate, and benzoyl peroxide gel. And it is 1.2/2.5%. I think that's the same as this. This is my sister's, but we both use it. Okay, yeah. But so this is, it does have benzoyl peroxide, which I personally have a lot of success with. I used spot treatments that had benzoyl peroxide and salicylic acid in the past, and the benzoyl peroxide always worked better. But this is nice. I do think it works, but the other product is what I really like. So this is nice. You just kind of spot treat. It can leave a little bit of dryness, but I mean, that's to be expected with a spot treatment. And that didn't cause any sort of reaction, I don't think. It's this product that I'm going to show you next, which would have caused more of a reaction, or I would have noticed more of a difference. So this is the tretinoin cream in the 0.05%. But the tretinoin is basically a kind of generic name for Retin-A. And a lot of you have probably heard of retinol, which is in a lot of kind of older, more mature, anti-aging skincare products in the drugstore. It's the kind of, I guess, lower dosage or the calmer version of Retin-A. This is my second tube of it. I went through the first tube, no, I mean, not quickly, but I mean, it lasted me a few months, so it wasn't bad. But this is a 20-gram thing, so it's not huge. But, and this isn't too expensive either. My insurance covers, or my copay is like $7, so it's really cheap. Considering it's something that's a prescription from a dermatologist, I think that's amazing. This cream, and Retin-A's in general, they stimulate cell turnover. So they make your skin cells turn over faster, so they're repairing themselves quickly, which makes sense. You know, if you have a breakout but the skin's constantly turning over, it's eventually going to kind of, I mean, this sounds disgusting, but like shed itself, and it's not going to be there anymore because the skin that it's on isn't there. So it just helps everything and gets everything moving. And it also is good for scarring. So that's why it's good for anti-aging, because it just keeps the skin rejuvenated and kind of working, and it can help reduce, you know, like spots and stuff like that. So the only thing about this that is, I wouldn't say worrisome, but it is something that people look out for, is that it can cause dryness. And that is why I kind of documented the first 3 weeks, because after that point, there wasn't going to be a drastic change to my skin in terms of symptoms, but the first 3 weeks, or really the first month, is when something crazy would happen as a reaction to a product. So luckily for me, it did not cause any dryness, and I think that is because I do have oilier skin. I think that if you had dry skin, I would be very careful with it, because it is a strong medication. And I forgot to mention, but for that you use basically like a pea-sized amount and use it kind of as a moisturizer. That's how, I mean, that's how you could think of it. You just put a thin layer all over your face, and personally for me, it is somehow hydrating enough, because it is a cream. The other one is a gel, but the tretinoin is a cream, so it, I don't know, it's somehow moisturizing. I don't really know how that works, but I don't have to use a moisturizer after it. But like I said, skincare routine will tell you all that stuff. I didn't experience any dryness, but I did feel a little bit of discomfort. My skin felt dry and a little bit tighter in the first week, but it wasn't actually dry. I just maybe used a little bit of moisturizer, maybe on my nose or my chin or just wherever it felt dry. But I noticed an immediate reduction in the acne, and you will see this in the pictures that it went down but then flared up maybe a few weeks in. And so week 2, I noted that we went to Mexico and it got worse, which you will see in the pictures. My chin got really red and all of the bumps, I mean, the actual zits didn't increase, but I feel like they got more inflamed and more just irritated. And like I said, I was in Mexico, so we were sweating more. I was using a high SPF on my face. So all of those things really are not good when you're trying to get rid of acne. Everyone knows that high SPF is basically a sure way of getting some sort of pimples, you know, on your face. So I wouldn't recommend doing something, you know, along the same lines as I did, but oh well. But once I got home, I did notice that it kind of went back to normal, but the actual kind of like whiteheads turned into more cystic acne. So I felt it like along my hairline, along my jaw, out of nowhere. I've never had zits along my jaw, ever. And all of a sudden, it was like along my hairline, like up here on my jaw, on the outer portions of my face, and they hurt really bad. It was very painful. And you know that those are extremely hard to treat. It's not something that's on top of your skin. It's under. It is so painful and just irritating. So that was really difficult. But you can see that for a few months it was kind of the same, a little bit stagnant, but it was still getting better. And you can definitely see that within the past month and few weeks, it's gotten drastically better. And that's what people say when you read reviews, is that you really notice a difference after a long usage. And that is one thing that I would say, is that if you do get this product, it's amazing, it's incredible, and it does work, but stick with it, because giving up is useless. Your skin takes a few weeks or a few months to get used to a product and really react positively to it, or negatively, I guess, but so you just gotta give it time, but it does work. I'm going to do a close-up. I do have makeup on, but like I said, I'll include a shot of me without makeup. So this is what my skin looks like. My forehead is basically cleared up. I mean, I do have some little things, but like I said, my skin isn't flawless. But yeah, I have a little bump right here. If you notice in any of the pictures, the crazy redness on my nose, that's from my glasses. But I do have a bump right here. I think it's from my glasses, to be honest. I think I need to clean them. It's not a big deal. But this side of my face is okay. Those are freckles. My chin has a few. I think that's hormonal. I kind of hope so. I hope it's not anything bad. And then my cheeks, I have this weird thing. I don't exactly know what happened. It was never really a bump. I think it was like a scratch or something. This is where I have most of my scarring, which you can tell. All of this is flat, along my nose as well, but it's just scarring. I've had scarring there for years, really, and it never goes away. But as you can see, my skin just as a whole is a lot better. So the stuff has definitely worked, and it's been incredible. So yes, if you are having a hard time with skin issues, definitely go to a dermatologist and see what they can do, because the products are amazing. They're, you know, they're specially formulated for acne and stuff like that. And I want to say that I know that, and I should have put this at the beginning, I know that what I have experienced is nowhere near as severe as some people do. Trust me, I 100% understand and empathize with all of you. My sister had very bad acne and still deals with it, has scarring and stuff, so I know that what I'm complaining about and what I have dealt with is very low on the spectrum of acne. I 100% understand that, and don't want you to think that I think that it was really bad, but in comparison to how my skin was the rest of my life, it was a drastic change, hopefully, as you can tell. So yes, I hope this video was informative for all of you. I know that it was very long, but I hope in some way it helped you and maybe gave some of you kind of the peace of mind that people go through these things a lot of the time. You know, you might not see it in videos, but it was definitely something that I was dealing with, and it is hard, and my skin isn't perfect, so don't think that it is. Trust me, it's not. But just know that I understand your struggles if you're going through, if you're going through with this? No, that doesn't make sense. If you're going through this, but yes, so just some moral support. It will get better if you use the right products and stick with them, I promise. And yeah, so I hope you all enjoyed this video. Make sure to stay tuned for my skincare video because I have a lot of great other products to show you. That work amazingly in conjunction with the prescribed ones. So yeah, I hope you all are having a fantastic day, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye everyone!